1/3 of all the federal cocaine cases average 50 grams, average a candy bar's weight. Pick up a candy bar and flip it and hold it and say to yourself, my God, this represents 1/3 of all the federal cocaine cases. This is a junk food Justice Department, which is making the federal prison system at least obese with low-level drug cases. So the U.S. Sentencing Commission, at the request of Congress, studies what the Justice Department is bringing. And they find that your street-level crack dealer, whose average is 52 grams of crack, average transactions 52 grams, gets 104 months in federal prison. The average so-called high-level dealer is involved in an average of 16,000 grams. 16,000 grams is 6 kilograms. Excuse me, is 16,000 grams is 16 kilograms, which is about 30 pounds. 30 pounds. Think of 2 briefcases of cocaine you could put in the back of your car. Now, this is not international cargo container level. This is not a truck full. This is not a boat full. This is not an airplane full. This is a lot. You know, this is 2 lunch pails full of cocaine.
Yeah.
But this is how that quantity gets 101 months for that level of culpability compared to 104 months for 50 grams of crack.
They have the money for the lawyers.
They have the money for the lawyers, and the sentencing system is rigged. What happens is that the government, the federal government, is overwhelmingly focused on the low-level, easy-to-try cases. The Sentencing Commission found that of the federal cocaine cases, 70% of the cases were defined as street-level cases, neighborhood cases, local cases, and only 15% were national and international high-level traffickers. So the overwhelming bulk of what the Justice Department is doing is irrelevant to the federal role. They're doing the state and local stuff. Yes. So you can, if you are a chief of police, if you are a concerned citizen who thinks that the war on drugs should be fought, who thinks that drug prohibition is the right way to go, you should be calling for the resignation of the Attorney General and the head of DEA for their incompetence, because they are AWOL in doing their job. Now, I happen to believe that even if they did 100% of what they were doing at the areas that they should be doing, they're not going to substantially change the economics. I don't think it's going to help. But, you know, to those who say, have we fought an effective war on drugs, we've not fought an effective war on drugs, at least in terms of what the strategy supposedly is, because it's politically corrupted so that every, you know, mayor can point to his DEA-funded local task force. And every U.S. attorney can talk about the dangerous local ring that they broke up. So that all over the country, places that have nothing to do with it ought to be the federal responsibility, where it's a state and local responsibility to fight the drug trade, they let the feds come in and get some kind of glory. But, so, what Congress did in 1986, 5 grams, 50 grams, 500 grams, 5,000 grams, these are at the very bottom of the global drug trade. And we've given these big signposts to the Justice Department. Look here. So they're not doing their job.
So Louisville, Kentucky can claim they're doing their part to end international drug trafficking.
If you will.
Well, I tell you what, Eric, it brings me back to the thought that we have been duped. I've relayed that thought to my radio audience for years now, that we're not hitting the drug kingpins. They're living in lives of luxury in Bogota or even D.C., perhaps.
Now, I guess, you know, there are those who say, well, that's not a surprise because the DEA is corrupt and it's deliberately protecting these people. I guess I don't believe that. I'm willing to say that that's a potential suspicion. I don't think there's evidence to support that. I think that it is more easily explained by the fact that it is a bureaucracy in which easy work, if it's unchallenged, will be done. If you say, you have a choice between a hard job and an easy job, we'll pay you the same amount.
Right.
But I'm not really going to criticize or oversee what you're doing, whether you do a good job or bad job. You know, there's a saying in Washington which is called close enough for government work. And the incompetence that we're getting from DEA is close enough for government work. The failure to protect public health and safety, the failure to really take violent criminals out of the society is, in the current political climate, close enough for government work. And the American people are not going to sit still for this forever. They're going to say, we want our children protected, we want our neighborhoods safe, we want our streets to be orderly places where we can shop, where we can go to the movies, where we can, you know, take our children. We want parks and playgrounds where our children can play. Those changes will happen only when we get rid of drug prohibition. And the American people will figure it out.
Very good. Thank you. Mr. Eric Sterling, we appreciate you being with us on The Unvarnished Truth.
My pleasure. It's always a pleasure to talk to your listeners, Dean.